No, Gina, you're so dumb. Didn't you realize that Rose isn't actually rich in Titanic? My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. I do not actually know this commenter, but I have that urge to say that thing from Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe where he says, "Do not cite the magic to me. I was there when it was written." I saw Titanic in the movie theater 14 times. I do not mean that I have seen Titanic in the movie theater 14 times since it came out. I saw it 14 times in the first year when it was in the movie theater. I was there. I was locked in. So no, I am very aware that Rose is not actually still very rich, but let's also keep in mind that like poor rich people is not the same as actually being poor. So they are running out of money. They have a bunch of debts, but like the rich don't go broke like the rest of us. And so no, they're still sailing for flying. They are still sailing first class on the Titanic in designer gowns. And this corset scene that you reference in this comment, the detail in there that I think is just absolutely genius that so many people miss is that the corset that Rose is wearing is 4 years out of date. It is not a corset from the year that the Titanic sank. It is a corset that was in style 4 years earlier. She ran out of money a couple of years ago, and so she is wearing clothing that not everybody can see, but that is shaping her in a way that is not appropriate anymore and is out of fashion. Moreover, this scene in which Rose's mother is cinching her up into the corset, and we have that beautiful symbolism of the old generation literally holding her back by cinching her into the fashion of the years that have gone by, and reveals that they are penniless, that their father left behind gambling debts, like in which we realize that is a pinch. That's a pinch point in the plot. That is not the beginning of the movie. At the beginning of the movie, the first thing that we see of Rose is, first of all, we have the framing device and the prologue of her being a really old goddamn liar and all of that stuff. But when we see Rose in the Titanic and we actually start the story that we are starting on, we see the big hat, right? The beautiful reveal as she steps out of the carriage. It starts with her glove, and then we see her step out of the carriage, and then the hat picks up and reveals. And so she has all of the trappings of wealth: leather gloves, a carriage, a cinched in waist, meaning she's wearing a corset underneath. She's got a parasol over the hat. She is doing everything she can to like still be dressed in all of the trappings of wealth. And so that's how Rose starts, is a wealthy woman, that she is dining in the first class cabins. She is a wealthy woman. At the pinch point in the plot, we reveal that they aren't as wealthy as they once were or as they want to be anymore. Again, they still bought first class tickets on Titanic, so their definition of broke is very different than my definition of broke. So we have this poor little rich girl moment in which it's not fair, and you're right, it's not fair that she has to marry rich in order to keep up all of these appearances and to keep up with this lifestyle long term. And this is exactly what I am talking about when I tell you that you don't want to dump all of your characters' backstory up at the front of the story. Because if we had started with Rose was raised really wealthy, but her father ran up a whole bunch of debts and the family is trying to escape from them, and now they aren't as rich as they used to be, and now she has to marry this guy that she doesn't actually love, but it's so that they can stay rich. Okay, ready, set, go. Now is the start of the story. That would be extremely boring, and it wouldn't work. Audiences wouldn't stick around for it. And so when you have a piece of information like this that you need to reveal, this is character backstory. It should not be the first thing that happens in your story. This is going to be revealed later on, usually at a pinch point, sometimes at a plot turn later on. This is not going to be the first thing. We do not dump a whole bunch of backstory onto our audience right from the beginning.